The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy, the Florida Lottery, Best Parts, Best Prices, Bennett Auto Supply, Contender Boats, Performance Through Innovation, Navionics, We Start Where the Roads End, and Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
Listen, this Chevy Silverado is not happy. It's not happy because it's not doing anything, because it knows you have a to-do list with unchecked boxes, because it was built to constantly be on the prowl to get more done. Patience is not the Silverado's virtue. Doing is. The dependable, reliable Chevy Silverado.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.com, where you can get daily reports from our 9 captains. Also, if you'd like to be featured on our show, upload your best shots with our theme species of the week to our Facebook page, and you might be featured right here on the show. Captain Pat Deneen is in the Panhandle, and Pat, the best wahoo fishing in your region starts about now.
Yeah, Lauren, you're right. We can catch wahoo up here year-round, but the best bite's usually late May through the fall. And then late winter, if you want to travel way west of the rigs or the lumps, the bite can be really good with giant wahoos. But the past couple weeks, the guys have traveled out that I've spoken to the nipple area have reported a wahoo bite or two, but not really good yet. Coming June, once the weed lines start forming up, it gets pretty good. You pay attention to the hard bends in the weed line, or also the very ends of the weed line where you tend to get a big island of grass. And also look out for any form of hard floating structure, especially like a deadhead piling or a log that floats deep in the water. Those tend to hold wahoo really well. A sea witch with a ballyhoo or a heavy-headed flashy skirt with a ballyhoo works good. But behind out of here, we like to pull the tremblers at 8.5 to 9 knots. If you're going to slow down and bait fish and also try to wahoo fish, a Rapala, a Magnum, like 20 or 30, something that's going to swim down low, still have a lot of action at the lower speeds, does really well. The average wahoo in the Northern Gulf is probably 25 to 40 pounds. We've caught them up to 84 pounds. I saw a photo of one last week from an Orange Beach boat, a charter boat over there, and they're fishing the same waters we are. It was 102 pounds, so we definitely have some nice ones off the Northern Gulf.
All right, what else you got for us offshore, Pat?
Rick, if you just want to go out offshore and catch a lot of fish and have a good time doing it, the nearshore wrecks, the tugboats, the barges, the concrete structure, the bridge spans, in 80 to 100 foot of water, they have plenty of smaller amberjacks. Not many of them are legal, most of them 27 and 29 inch range. So like I said, it's mostly sport fishing, but you will catch a few legal fish. If it's calm, you can get these fish up on top with a popper or a chugger, but most days probably a butterfly jig or a bucktail jig or a heavy-headed plastic drop to the bottom and jig quickly up to the surface is going to be your best bite. If you want to weed out the smaller fish, go with a live bait like a large pinfish or even a hardtail. And like I said, this is really fun fishing. It's accessible to small bay boats or even flat boats if the weather's right. And if you will catch one or two legal fish, it's a good sport. We do it a lot.
All right, let's go inshore, bud.
Inshore rigs.
yeah.
Along the beaches, there's lots of blacktip sharks between the first bar and the second bar. They're fun to catch. They jump. They run fast. They're especially plentiful to the east over off Shell Island and Crooked Island. But we're seeing plenty of them right outside Destin Pass and also westward along the Okaloosa Island beaches and the Santa Rosa Island beaches. To me, the funnest way to catch them is a slow motor or electric motor down the bar and sight fish them with either a live herring or live cigar minnow. But if you're in the off-colored water, like they often get to the east over off of Crooked Island or even Apalachicola, anchor up and fish with a half a ladyfish or a bluefish in the bar. The average size is 15 to maybe 30 pounds. And then the speckled trout bites, still doing really well over the grass using artificials. I spoke with Captain Sean Chalker of Bar Hopper Charters over Indian Pass, and he's doing excellent fishing the Apalachicola Bay system. He's mostly targeting the oyster bars using a popping cork and a live shrimp or even a glow gulp shrimp underneath the popping cork. Sean says in that off-colored water, the louder the pop, the better. You're going to have, much better action if you're going to fish to the west in a clearer water like St. Joe and St. Andrews Bay. Often a swimming plug or a jerk bait or something along those lines are going to do better. But you can still get them on the popping cork. The best bite is usually early in the morning or late in the day. And target those grass flats holding big schools of mullet.
All right, great report, Pat. We're going to go ahead and get to the blue water outrigger hotspots from the Panhandle region. Captain Pat says inshore Apalachicola Bay. Triple tails using live shrimp under the cork on the crab pots and the markers. And then offshore, king mackerel on the entrance of the buoys to St. Andrews Pass on a slow troll with live baits for those king mackerel.
Okay, Rick, now let's take a look at the Southwest region where Captain Ron Houston hangs around. Captain Ron, the Wahoo are not terribly common in your area, but they can still be found. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. Just briefly speaking, like you said, they're not common on an everyday basis. But for the hardcore guy who's hunting the Wahoos in my region, generally the summertime can be the best month, especially with the calm seas. But you want to start at about 100 miles out, in and around most noted structure in the area, 100 miles out and beyond. Now, the key things to do is looking for these fish is use large live baits. Also, a variety of trolling lures work best. You want to concentrate on good colors such as purple and black or pink and black, or a variety of skirted baits with ballyhoo. Same colors as the trolling lures work the best. But like I say, for the hardcore guy, this is the best suggestion I can give you, but it's not an everyday occurrence. A little more on the offshore report. Permit. They're all through the region, and what we're concentrating on, guys, is a pattern. But one of the areas is anywhere from Lostman's River to Big Marco Pass. Now we're fishing wrecks, towers, and right now, guys don't look for them much, but we're still trying to follow those migrating schools of tarpon to find these permits. Baits of choice, obviously, is the live crab. Can't get the crab, live shrimp, or bucktail jigs and chartreuse, yellow and brown. But like I say, it's a pattern, typical size of these fish right now, and as we get into the summer months, 15 to 30 pounds.
All right, let's go offshore, Ronnie. Inshore, Ronnie. I'm sorry.
Last week when Dave talked about on the snook bench about current, right now we want to concentrate on areas to fish Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, Cape Coral. This is basically a nighttime bite right now. Now you want to concentrate on the last half of the incoming and the first half of the outgoing tide. Until dawn, fishing docks, seawalls, and large boats. Like Dave said last week, swift current is a must and looking for eddies. Best baits of choice right now are live shrimp, pilchard, or artificials and root beer and white paddle tails, also 4-inch slip plugs. Best colors right now are black and silver, olive, and white in color. Typical size of these fish right now are anywhere from 22 to 32 inches. Also, a little further to the south, the redfish bite has been great, especially with all the rain we've had to cool the water temps down in the Tannic water. Concentrate right now from Round Key to Pavilion Key. Concentrate on these tides, the last half of the incoming to the first half of the outgoing, along outer Gulf Islands, along mangrove shorelines, and areas of plenty of deadwood. Right now, for the artificial enthusiasts, gold and silver spoons, root beer paddle tails with the Tannic water on quarter-ounce jig heads, Also, colors of white and chartreuse. But for the live bait guy, get you some live pilchards offshore or cut mullet ladyfish. Typical size of these fish right now are plenty to be caught, 18 to 26 inches.
Ronnie, I got a question for you. Tomorrow I'm coming to Chuckaluskee to fish the CCA Life Members Outing. We'll be staying at Bill Camp's house right there around the corner and from the boat ramp. And I want to ask you, I need to go catch trout, redfish, and snook. So where should I start, bud? Only you can tell me with artificials.
First thing to do to stay local, I strongly suggest, I've been fishing 6 to 8 hours a day in rain gear, so make sure you bring plenty of that. Strongly suggest, we're going to have a high tide in the morning. Wait for that tide to start falling. You want to work the bites the first thing in the morning for the redfish. Concentrate on getting out on the grass flats anywhere from Plover Key to Bodges Key. And then once you get your limit of trout, reds, get on the outer Gulf points that are exposed, using lip crankbaits for the snooks. And then once that tide falls, the last of the outgoing, beginning of the incoming, keep an eye out. Plenty of tarpon to be caught, all on the outer edges from 6 to 10 feet of water.
Well, there you guys have it. And if you guys are going to be watching, I got to tell you something. That's what we're going to be doing. So anyway, good job, Midnight. We're going to go ahead and get to the hot spots from your region. Captain Ron says inshore, trout. Mormon Key to Indian Key, fishing potholes, grass with noise-making corks and 4-inch soft plastics. And then offshore, cobia. Fish the most noted structure, 6 to 20 miles, using large live baits for those coves.
When we return, we're going to have the Coastal Conservation Minute and a chat with Captain Russell Theron.
Oh, I bet we're going to get a hey!
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best built performance sports watch, period. StarTron, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more, while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Have you ever wanted to go to a place where the fish are big and wild? Have you ever wanted to fish a flat and never see anyone else? Have you ever wanted to dive your very own tropical reef? Have you ever wanted to watch the sun go down on a 90-foot mothership with 10 of your friends? Sea Hunter, the ultimate Caribbean adventure.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family-owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation.
Today's Coastal Conservation Minute is about becoming a life member with CCA, Coastal Conservation Association. Now, the reason why it's important to become a life member is because $954 of the $1,000 that you would pay, a one-time fee, will go towards representing us as recreational fishermen by hiring lobbyists to represent us in Washington and Tallahassee. But more importantly, when you become that life member, you're going to be invited to special outings where you'll be with just life members. You get special pliers and gifts and a pair of Costa Del Mar sunglasses, but you need to understand that the reason why it's so important that CCA is represented and partnered with Costa, with Maverick Boat Company, with Yamaha Outboards and Hells Bay Boats is because we truly need representation in Tallahassee and Washington when decisions are being made about our fishery management. And that's why you need to become a life member of CCA. You know, Lauren, I really got a lot of passion about CCA. Coastal Conservation, what they stand for is they represent people like you and me and Jimbo, because we're out working. And just like I said in the piece there, you know, we've got kids doing baseball and cheerleading. We don't have the time to travel to the different FWC commission meetings. We don't have time to travel to Washington to fight when we got superintendents like Dan Kimball trying to close Everglades National Park, 132,000 acres of very shallow water. CCA is there fighting for us and representing us, which is why it's so important for us to give them some money through memberships that allows them to hire high-powered lobbyists to go fight.
That's right. Incredibly important to get involved.
Absolutely.
I should mention I'm also passionate about the pink shirt you wear in that spot.
Well, thank you.
Matches your sunburn.
Yes, it does.
Ooh, all right.
Oh.
You're ready to head to Northeast.
I know, I'm ready.
Okay, we'll do it then. We're going to go to the Northeast region where Captain Russell Theron is. The Wahoo catch is best with their mid-spring. Russell, is mid-May too late?
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Rick. You know, I tell you what, the biggest reason for that, Lauren, is because the fact that the winter and the spring are the best times of year to target the Wahoo because they're the greatest defined transition in water temperatures that are on the tide lines at the edge of the Gulf Stream. And another thing that makes it really great here in Northeast Florida, a lot of people don't realize because we don't have near the fishing pressures you guys have down in South Florida. Now, it's about 65 miles to the Gulf Stream here east of Jacksonville, so that gives it kind of a remoteness. So the guys that are able to get out there during the spring and, of course, during the winter, when you have these huge differences in temperature, that's why the fishing is so good stacked up on those tide lines with that big transition of water temperature. The Wahoo love to be on those tide lines. Of course, there's lots of bait. There's going to be debris. You can locate birds. And that diversity is what makes that area so well good, and the lack of pressure. So we have some phenomenal Wahoo fishing here in Northeast Florida. Now, most of the tournament anglers, they like the high-speed troll, and that's to eliminate other catches. Now, other boats like the slow troll, so they'll also, since they're making that long run out there, so that they also can catch dolphin and tuna. And remember, if you ever hook up on a Wahoo, never slow down because it's a good chance that if you do, he might get off. Now, the recommended lures that have always been recommended across the board, everybody talks about, is the purple and black sea witch, which is sold at the strike zone. Typical size Wahoo in our area are 20 to 60 pounds, and man, they are good to eat, especially with some new little potatoes. I like them that way, especially grilled. That's the best way.
All right, careful, big boy. The last time we started talking about cheese grits, we got cut off. So let's just go ahead and talk about let's talk about groupers now. Be careful.
Now, and grouper is my favorite fish to eat, and I'm so excited about the season that opened up last week, and we're gonna get us some fresh groupers soon. We love them grouper sandwiches. Now, most of the grouper are going to be anywhere from 50 to 180 foot of water, of course, on those artificial reefs and wrecks. Some of the better spots in our region are going to be RL, AH, and CH. Now, what you want to do is you want to have a good heavy to medium rod with a 4-aught level wine reel with at least 80-pound test mono. Now, you want to be able to use like 6 to 8 ounces of lead to hold the bottom, or if you need more, add it. You want to have 3 or 4 feet of 125-pound test mono line with at least an 8-aught circle hook. Now, always take out, your sabiki rigs so you catch some big Spanish sardines or maybe some pinfish and pogies, that you can use for live bait. But some of the best cut bait are Boston mackerel. Now, you also want to be able, you can also jig with, like Williams, some high-speed butterfly jigs. Or you might want to use a large-style hookup bucktail jig tipped with a live bait. Now, that will certainly get the attitude adjustment.
That's
now,
right.
Don't forget that the regs are, that you want to use in our region, circle hooks, and be sure to take a venting tool offshore in our region because that's the requirement. Typical size gag grouper, Rick, run anywhere from 8 to 20 pounds in our region.
All right, let's go inshore, Russell.
Inshore, this coming Saturday, we're going to have a great low tide in the Palm Valley, just south of Palm Valley. Now, what you want to know about that is because the inlet to Palm Valley, there's a difference of 2 hours in tide. If you fish Histus Creek or to the north of that, you're going to notice that the low tide was actually prior to daylight. Now, what you want to do, you want to sight fish these low tides is a great way to target slot-sized redfish schools. Locate the schools in their staging areas just before they scatter on the flood tide as they move up around the oyster bars and up into the grass to feed. When they're in their staging areas and they're together like that, they're very competitive. Now, what you want to use is like a hookup jig head with either a sand eel, saltwater assassin jerkbait, or if you want to, use a Trigger X gray growth shrimp pattern. That's really my favorite. Typical size reds, Rick, are running anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds. Now, also inshore, we have the spotted sea trout. They're doing real well, and the best fight has been coming underneath live shrimp under float rigs. Now, what you want to do is fish those float rigs along the tide lines in the eddies. Of course, that's where you got faster moving water moving next to slower moving water. And those trout like to get in that tide where the water is slower so that as that food comes by, they'll be able to ambush them. And those areas that you want to key on are on points and creek mouths, especially that have big shell bars. Use a float rig with an adjustable head because trout suspend. You might want to adjust your shrimp or your Trigger X Gray Ghost shrimp to get down to whatever the position, whatever the depth that the fish might be suspending in. I use a 1/8 ounce hookup jig head tipped with a live shrimp. Those work real well. I fish for trout in like either 4 to 8 foot of water. Typical size of the trout, Rick, are running anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds.
All right, great report, Russell. I'm going to go ahead and get to the strike zone hotspots from the Northeast region. Captain Russell said inshore, target redfish and sea trout early in the morning along the ICW grass lines with spinnerbaits and topwater plugs. And then offshore, catch those gag grouper at the RL, the AH, the CH artificial reefs and wrecks. Use live pinfish and big Spanish sardines for bait, Lauren.
I'll tell you, Rick, if you're not hungry before Russell calls in, you're usually hungry after.
Exactly.
Or maybe that's just me. I'm not sure. On the other side of the break, we'll tell you what our captains will have for you next week. Don't miss it.
Imagine brighter futures, where doors open for Florida students every day. Imagine building a better tomorrow, where playing means we all win. Now celebrating $25 billion to education in 25 years. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado up front.
So, what do you do?
Well, nice.
And Bingo was his name.
The Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. For work, for life, Chevy Silverado.
Hi. I lost a big fish earlier today. Wasn't using suffix. It was about this big.
Look, slow down there, cowboy, okay? A fish in the lost a van, huh? You want your fish. Sorry, honey, that fish is gone.
Always use the best line, suffix 832.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70. tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its four-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha four-stroke F70. Reliability starts here.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
Fish Stock, the total saltwater experience, returns to New Smyrna Beach this Memorial Day weekend. Bring the whole gang to Riverside Park for an incredible family experience. Tournaments, boat shows, seminars, kids clinics, and the Fish Stock 5K Fun Run. Visit fishstock.com to register for the Offshore Striker Tournament with an expected payout of nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes. Or the Redfish Trout Challenge with an expected payout of $15,000 in cash, prizes, and much more. Fish Stock, Memorial Day weekend in New Smyrna Beach. Don't miss this one.
Next week on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, we'll be talking tarpon. Make sure to check us out next Thursday, May 16th. You can catch repeats on Friday and Saturday. Just check Sun Sports in your local listings for more details.
The Poon is coming back to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. Now that's what I'm talking about. I can't wait to talk about tarpon. You know that gets me going, Jimbo.
Well, you know, there's plenty of them at my dock, so you can just come hand feed them if you want.
They don't allow you to fish in those marinas.
No, those are our pets.
Yeah, so we can hand feed them.
Aww. Right.
But I like catching them. I like grabbing them by the face.
We got names for all of them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I know you do. Hey, great job tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks
hey,
for
guys,
having me.
Yeah, thanks for filling in.
We thank you very much for watching, but more importantly, don't forget to watch Sportsman's Adventures because we got some cool stuff going on there. I'm not going to tell you about it because you got to go watch it.
See you next time.
Good job tonight.